with the design and working with the architects, there were a couple of features that we knew we wanted to do. It's really important to have that grand circulation desk that we all think about, and I'm really proud of the custom-built circulation desk that we ended up with. But the thing that's nice with it is not just does it kind of give that nod to the old circulation desk, but we've made it into a multi-use space.
Really, in thinking about the library of the 21st century, it's much more about people than it is about books.
We're all right here on the first floor with the students, and it's nice to be valued for the resource that you are. So I think that that's something unique that we have in this space.
Two of the key components of the new space were our two courtrooms. One is primarily a trial courtroom. The other is set up as a moot court or appellate courtroom. It was important to us that these have a certain wow factor because our advocacy programs are really outstanding, and we want to give students a space to practice for mock trial and for moot court competitions.
A lot of schools will combine those spaces. What we did is we have two separate rooms for that, which is great for competitions. You get students used to that idea of having the justices up there on the court level. It's just a very different experience for them.
At the same time, we wanted to make sure that spaces were multifunctional. Both of the courtrooms double as regular classrooms.
With a modern-day law library, you need to have the balance of resources, like study rooms, print material that are necessary, but then resources could also be the intangible things that you don't see, so the electronic resources. Finding that balance of where do you marry sort of your old idea of what a library looks like with modern technology, which allows students, no matter the way they like to study, to have those options available to them.
Our librarians did a great job of sort of sifting through our collection, figuring out, okay, what makes the most amount of sense in electronic form, what makes the most amount of sense in book form. And then they did a great job designing a layout where resources that are of similar nature are kept together, and so it would be easy for students to find things without having to go to the online catalog.
We do have more study rooms than we had historically. We also have larger study rooms. So we actually have one study room that can accommodate up to 8 students if they wanted to be in that space.
We really had a focus on providing different kinds of student study space. We wanted something that was clean, but also modern.
The other thing that is really important for us is not just our on-campus student population and meeting the needs for our faculty, but we also considered the alumni and the members of the bar.
One of the areas of the library is called the Mediation Center. It doubles as both a student study space that we have made available to members of the bar for them to conduct mediations.
Every single one of our study rooms, I mentioned the technology, and this is going to include the area in the Mediation Center, actually has monitors with a feature called Screen Beam, which allows you to actually take what you've got on your screen and you can beam it directly to the monitor without wires. You're not having to try to find the right HDMI cable, right? So again, that's a great place where we have married the idea of how can we take those traditional uses and then use technology advances within the library so that it gives more options. And so it's really important that the print collection that we did keep is the South Carolina collection. So we do actually have the bulk of our South Carolina collection that we had in our prior library is still here physically and in print.
We deliberately moved Student Affairs and Career Services into this space to have it be a true student center. So students, if they need help, they don't have to go too far.
If you think about it, we are most of the time very student focused, right? That's our main user, that's who we're working with. And so it made perfect sense to have that marriage with student services. So through a door, they then have access to the career services opportunities that are available to them. They have access to the administrative arm of student services, so that if there are any issues or problems, they're all right there on the first floor.
The footprint of the library, the design of the library, kind of evolved from a lot of different input. The dean of the library, Katie Brown, drew on her experience, and she did some research about modern trends in libraries. Dean Cunningham had taken student leaders through the library to kind of get their input about what they'd like to see in there.
Yes, we had a group of law students who we consulted with early on. They were ultimately going to be the primary users of the space, and so we wanted to make sure it worked for them, and they had a lot of great ideas.
The library's been well received between Dean Cunningham, President Bell, Dean Brown, our general contractor, architects. At the end of the day, everybody's pretty happy with the way it came out.
Most of all, we wanted it to be a welcoming space for students. It would be a space that students would really want to come to.
I'm going to quote one of our students when we did our sort of grand opening in January, and I overheard a couple of students talking, and I love this. What they said was, you went to the old library and it was cool because it was a historic building. So that is what, people loved the old library, they loved that old space. But they said it never felt like a library. As soon as I came in January and I saw the space, it felt to me like this is what a library is supposed to be.